Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel for another painting tutorial. Today I'm working on an 8x8 stretched canvas. I have the following colors I'll be using: Mars Black, Titanium White, Neon Orange, Cool Yellow, and Warm Yellow. These are by Holbein. All the neons I'm using are by Holbein. Then I've got Dioxazine Purple, Cobalt Blue, Bright Aqua Green Turquoise, Neon Pink, and Neon Rose. Got a number 20 flat brush. And you can check out the full list of brushes and colors I'm using today in the description below this video. So what I want to do is just start working on the sky colors. I'm going to do a mixture of light blue violet, some turquoise, and then I'll come in with some pretty clouds that are tinted with some of the pinks and the oranges and yellows. This painting is going to be full of color. I'm really enjoying the fall season right now and all the gorgeous colors, so it's really inspiring my latest series of colorful landscapes. And if you guys are enjoying these, be sure to leave a comment below, let me know, and give this video a like. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just wetting my brush a little bit, and I'm going to start with a little bit of blue. I'm going to add this along the top. Just brush softly back and forth. Then take a little bit of white to soften it and make it more of a light blue violet. I really want the sky to have a softness to it, and therefore I'm just going to make really soft pastel shades and keep the vibrancy and more saturated areas in the foreground. That also helps to create perspective in a painting. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water and white. I'm going to go over partially where I just left off with the blue, go below with it, work the remainder of that blue out of my brush, and just gradiate down. I'm going to add a little bit below here as well. The next color I'm going to take is turquoise. Scoop up some white along with that, and I'm going to start coming in from the right side, and I'm going to start to sweep. This is a great way to create some movement and feeling in your skies by just going on an angle like this with a little sweep, and you'll create some really pretty clouds. I'm going to take a little bit more white. I know it's going to dry darker than what it's going on wet now. Acrylic always does. So I'm just being a little more generous with the amount of white I'm using. Take a little bit of water and just work whatever is left in my brush out down here. Specifically and purposely leaving some empty spaces here, blank canvas, so that I can come in with some pretty sunrise or sunset colors and streaks across the sky. So I'm going to dry this off before I come in with those, and I'll be using my neon colors except for the neon rose. So I'll probably be using a little bit of pink, yellows, and a little bit of orange with white, but I want to make sure this is dried off first because it'll be too hard to have those colors not mix with those, and I don't want the colors to get too muddy. Okay, now that this is dry, I'm going to take my next brush, number 14 filbert, and I'm going to take some white, a little bit of pink, a little bit of yellows, without over mixing. Just have all those colors in my brush, but mostly white. You need the white to make it really soft and kind of glow once it's all dry. So I'm just going to come in, start to wiggle, and then pull and sweep. Add just a little bit more white here. Go wiggle and then gentle sweep. I'm gonna add a little bit more pink here, especially around the mint green area because the pink is really complementary. I'll take the rest. I'm going to just go right down here along the horizon line. I'm going to add a little bit more pink, a little bit more of the warm yellow. So I'm just going to saturate this a little bit, just a little bit more color, a little bit less white. Okay, then I'm going to go back down to turquoise and a little bit of blue, no white this time. And I'm going to come right down here, pull from either side, and then just leave an opening right there in the center. Gently pull. Pull and sweep. A little more paint on my brush. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of black. And I'm just going to start back here, a little line comes out here, and then we're going to pull it over, make it wider, and curve right down off the bottom right corner. So again, a skinny line, and then pull and curve all the way down to the bottom right corner. I'm going to take a little bit of water, and I'm going to go down from this curve and bring it down over and off the bottom left corner. Paint it in. I'm going to take a little bit of white, a little bit of blue, rinse my brush out, and I'm just going to go right in the middle and pull off some of that paint. I'm going to bring it a little more over to the right and a little bit more down towards the left. And I want it to feel like it's getting skinnier and skinnier and then just disappears. That's going to help create that distance in the painting. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is dry this off, and we'll start coming in with more shading along either side. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is add some foliage, forest back here in the distance. And I'm going to continue using this filbert brush. I'm going to come in first with a little bit of yellow and both of the yellows here. And I'm just going to kind of go up and down and then make it go smaller and smaller here. Look at how it layers over. It's so pretty. That's where you're going to start to get all those different beautiful shades, different colors. And then same over here. I'm going to go over the road in the distance, and then I'm going to take a little bit of white, soften that, give us some more distance. Okay, the next color I'm going to be using, clean brush. I'm going to take some orange and some pink. And I'm going to start pulling off of the horizon line here. I'm going to take just a little bit of water. I probably added a bit too much there. You don't want it to be dripping. So I'm going to miss a few spaces here so I don't cover up everything. I'm going to go over the road with it too, so everything kind of just has this hint. I want the road to have sort of a glowing reflection to it, like all the foliage around. I'm going to switch over to another brush. I'm going to be using a fan brush for the next step. This one is a number 2 by Dugat. I'm going to get it wet. Once I put it in the water, it turns into a little rake shape, and that's what I want for creating separate lines. This way I won't cover up all those colors that we've got going on. We're just going to enhance this and add to it. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of this neon rose, and I'm going to go just over the horizon line and then wiggle and pull. Wiggle, wiggle, pull. I want to add them on a slant too, so you can have them straight up here and then on a slant. I love having the feeling of kind of an arch, creating a bit of a tunnel feeling of trees. Okay, I'm going to go along here again. And it doesn't matter how you apply it. I'm just going to go right over. I'm going to be a little bit more generous down here at the base. And one layer at a time, we're going to add and build up some depth. Just a hint of it here in the corner. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush off. And I'm going to dry this off and we'll come in with the next color. Okay, for the next color, I'm going to be using my number 14 filbert, and I'm going to take some cobalt blue. I'm going to be adding it right here on the horizon line. Just going to pull and sweep in. And I know we added this at the beginning, but that was a little bit watered down. So now we're just going straight paint, no water. We'll just pull here, right at the base. And then I'm going to bring this over inside and then pull that out. And I'm just going to start, see how I have it face down now? One side of the brush just flat. And start to just scumble around. Make it very patchy. So we still have a hint of the other colors in there. Okay, the next brush I'm going to be using is my number 2 rigger brush. And if you guys are interested in purchasing a set of my brushes, I'll have a link below for them. I'm going to get my brush wet, and I'm going to take some blue and some neon rose. And I'm going to start adding some tree trunks. So little flicks this way and that way, leaning in, a little straight, some leaning. But these ones you don't want to have too tall. We want to create perspective and distance, so you're going to gradually get taller, so you'll push gently and go up higher. Put a little bit more blue in there. We'll get some darker ones. So I want this area here, right on either side of the road, to just be a grassy area with lots of leaves. So I'm not going to take my trees down lower than just this section here and this section here. And if you happen to, it's really easy to go over them after and cover them up with some leaves. And gradually start to add some branches. Gentle wiggles, sweeps. You should have a very thinned out paint to be able to create these little delicate branches. And then let's add another one right here, a bigger tree. We need more water. And you decide every time you overlap a branch over a tree, if you want your trees to be, which one you want to be in the front or behind. So don't worry too much about that. Just keep adding these lines, wiggles, and it'll just come together. Okay, I'm going to go back for a little bit more. Add some lower branches down here. I'm going to take a little bit of white and I'm going to mix that in to create a softer shade here for these ones. They're a little farther away. Add a little bit to the road if you want. Just going to go back over to my 20 flat. And just go across here gently. There, give it a little bit of a softness in the distance. Just tapping over with that light blue violet I made with neon rose, cobalt blue, and white. I'm going to go back over to my number 3 round, and while I've got this color on here, I'll just mix up a little bit more. And I'll start adding some little taps and dabs for some leaves. You don't want to make it solid though, because we want to have all the other colors showing through. And we need to save room for the ones we're still going to add. Okay, and I'm going to come in here and add a little bit of blue, neon rose, Dioxazine purple, and a little bit of black. I'm just going to go around or these in between these leaves and create a little bit more shadow and depth. Okay, so the next brush I'm going to be using is a 1-inch mop brush, and I'm going to start by taking a bit of blue and neon rose, and I'm going to start adding some leaves to these trees. I'm applying it on an angle that goes with the lean to the branches and some of the trees. Okay, the next color I'm going to take a little bit of orange, yellow, both of the yellows, and I'm going to add a hint of this over a part of the last layer. And I'm going to just dab back here. Get a little bit of those colors again. I just rinsed my brush out. It's a little bit damp. I'm just going to add a little sweep back here. And a little bit along the road. I'm going to go back over to my fan brush, and I'm going to take some more yellow. If there's a little bit of warm yellow, a little bit of orange in there, that's okay. Now I'm going to place this more above the other colors I added. Now when this dries, whatever I'm applying it over top of in the background, it may dry a different color. So if I've got the blue sky color at the top with this over top, because the yellow, all these neon paints are transparent, so blue and yellow will make green. It'll give it a really nice glow. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of white, mix that up gently, and I'm going to tap and dab back here. I'm going to come in with some pink, orange, just all the colors, and just start to turn my brush and tap in different directions to get more of a natural, messy, fallen leaf look. And make them a little bigger here towards the foreground. Add a little bit of white, mix that all up. So I've got a peach, and I want it to be more blurry back here, so not everything is in full focus. The background should be a little blurrier. As long as you have some areas that are a little blurrier and some that are a little bit less blurry, you'll have a nice combination. So just going over the road a little bit, just kind of sweeping over, almost gives us a little bit of a breeze and movement while adding the colors of the leaves around as well. Okay, I'm going to just scoop up a little bit of what's left here of my violet, neon rose actually. It's very similar to the neon purple violet that you can get by Holbein, but this is it's called Luminous Rose. It's a very beautiful series of paints. They're how I treat myself because they're definitely not cheap paints, but they're worth every penny. So I'm just taking a little bit of this color to accent down here. I'm going to take a little bit of white, blue, I'm going to mix that up. Remember to get that perspective. You want to have larger dabs in the foreground here. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more of this cobalt blue. There's a little bit of that light blue violet in there too. Just gonna go through some of these trees. And a little bit of blue under that rose. I'm going to go back over to my number 3 round brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of light peach. Right back there. Add a little bit of pink. A little bit of that neon pink. Little dabs. So we have all those gorgeous colors. Finish off with a little bit of blue and dioxazine purple. I'm just going to dry this off, and then I'll add a little dab for a sun right about here. So with my number 3 round, just a little bit of white I'm gonna add a sun right in here. And then I'm just gonna go around and around and create a soft glow right over those trees. A little down below. Now I just want to tie in a little bit more turquoise so we can have some cool tones here in the more of the shade areas. A little bit of a sweep here, maybe up the side of this tree. A few little dabs here. And last little bit of yellow. This is the cool luminous lemon shade. Make it feel a little sunnier. Okay, well, this was really fun to paint. This is a smaller canvas, but of course you can do this on a larger canvas. I look forward to seeing your versions. If you want to share them, feel free to tag me online. And we have a private Facebook group for my YouTube subscribers and Patreon members where you can share your versions you paint along with me. And you can stay up to date on Patreon, gain exclusive content, extra videos, longer tutorials, and receive gifts. Thanks so much for all your support. I want to wish you guys all the best in your art journey, and thanks so much for being part of mine. See you soon. Bye.